demonstration of this aircraft, which can do many missions in one. Anything from carrying strategic loads over vast distances in excess of 4,800 miles to tactical and hostile locations in complex tactical environments. Also with the ability to land on unprepared strips, and other air forces will be using this aircraft to conduct air-to-air refuelling operations as a tanker. So we saw it making a 70-degree turn straight after takeoff, climbing to about 1,000 feet, and then it's descending back to the display line. Speed somewhere in the region of 160 to 180 knots at this point, and then it'll be entering a climbing turn in front of us. That's the design philosophy for the tactical environment, is what makes this aircraft such an exciting aircraft to display. Side stick control coupled with advanced fly-by-wire, flight envelope protection system giving virtually carefree handling. Unusually for a large aircraft, head-up displays which enable the pilots to keep their eyes out in the cockpit, and extensive use of carbon fibre, in particular in the wings, giving the aircraft 2.5G capability, 120 degrees angle of bank, which we'll see very shortly, and a 60-degree pitch capability. Of these aircraft currently either on order or delivered to Germany, France, Spain, the UK, Turkey, Belgium, Malaysia, Luxembourg, which will be operated by Belgium, and also Indonesia expressed its intention to order the aircraft. The French brought them into service first, and they've used their A400Ms to support operations in Mali, including flying from dirt strips. Turkey have used the A400M in Afghanistan, and Germany on an international aid mission to Senegal. And that's before we consider what the RAF Atlas C1s have been up to. Number 70 Squadron using them on global strategic missions. Number 24 Squadron doing the crew training. And as this slow speed fly past demonstrates, the aircraft can also fly slowly enough to act as an air-to-air refueling tanker for helicopters. The RAF has 20 of its 22 Atlas C1s on strength at Brize Norton. The full operational capability and the tactical role in the RAF is due in 2021 when the fleet is set to be completed, but they're already working up, doing a lot of low-level flying operations from austere strips, using night vision goggles and so forth, also gradually increasing the number of paratroops that can drop from an Atlas. And last November, an RAF Atlas set a new record by dropping a 23-ton load by parachute over the Salisbury Plain training area, the heaviest load ever airdropped by a UK military aircraft. Delivery of palletized stores. A very interesting fact about this aircraft, it's actually designed to be its most efficient flying 7 degrees nose up, which is actually the optimum for delivery of a Purabad system which comes out of the back on parachutes. If you look very carefully at the aircraft when it's on the ground, you'll see that the engines are actually canted down at 7 degrees, which means 100% of their thrust is going backwards when the aircraft is flying 7 degrees nose up. Now putting the speed on up to about 250 to 280 knots, and this last pass pull-up from low level into a steep wing over, possibly as steep as 120 degrees, another one of these manoeuvres with tactical relevance, showing how the aircraft could rapidly evade small arms fire of attention from manpads and the like. And then just as rapidly the aircraft returning to low level. Yeah, but legacy tactical airlifters have good tactical performance, but probably not as good as this. And the thing they cannot do that this aircraft can is carry outsized loads over strategic distances. Part of this is enabled in the A400M by the cockpit area being at the very front of the aircraft, allowing much of the internal space to be used for the load itself. Water, building materials, JCBs and much else, and they found the Atlas was able to deliver bigger loads than the Hercules into the sort of airfields that previously a Hercules was the largest aircraft that could operate into. And now, another part of the technical demonstration, the steep approach and the short landing. This will be enabled by those huge scimitar propellers being put into the beta position and producing forward thrust to retard the forward speed of the aircraft. So touching down 3,500 feet into the runway and coming to a complete standstill inside 1,500 feet. And the aircraft demonstrated to us today by a Spaniard and a Swiss. The Spaniard Eduardo Curiel Tormo and the Swiss Gary Cleyenboul. And Gary has quite a wide range of air display experience, including on the Eurofighter Typhoon and also on Airbus Heritage's reproduction of the Messerschmitt Me-262 Luftwaffe jet fighter at the late part of the Second World War. And these are the first A400M public display here at RIAT this weekend. Both pilots graduates of the US Navy Test Pilot School at the Patuxent River in Maryland, both with more than 1,000 hours on the A400M, plenty of other hours on other types, because all Airbus test pilots fly the whole range of the company's aircraft.